Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? We're going to do a live stream tonight about the reaction to the State of the Union speech given by Trump. I'm waiting for a few people to show up. I know I haven't been doing a lot of content lately on YouTube. I can see the writing on the wall. I know what's coming. Okay, especially when you got a State of the Union that is obviously in la la land and the rest of us are woken up. I can see where this is all going. Okay, and let's just say YouTube isn't helping me with my path forward to survive. And I don't mean by that with content. I just don't have time. I have to sit there and secure my future. And as society collapses, I don't want to sit there and collapse with it. I've been doing a lot of work with trees and cows. That's what pays the bills right now and gives me the money I need to secure my future. I mean, you listen to the State of the Union tonight, and you think these people in D.C. are with us. You're nuts. They're all against us, because I tell you what he was saying there tonight at the beginning is not what the State of the Union is. Maybe the state of the politician, but not the State of the Union. And I'm going to survive what they have coming at us, because it isn't going to be pretty. But I'm waiting for a few people to show up so I can start in on the subject matter. This is YouTube, man. I tell you what, they're hard on my channel. A lot of my videos, I go back. I've been on YouTube for 2.5 years now. I've had a few channels. One got canceled and two got canceled. And I go back on those videos, and over the last 2.5 years, not much changed. It just progressively keeps getting worse. But anyway, let's get on with the subject, okay? Trump's State of the Union tonight. For one thing, I'm going to say right off, first appearances, he seemed weak. Physically weak. I don't know if anybody else saw that. Hey, how you doing, Sydney? But I say he looked weak. And it looked like a choreographed B-budget movie. Did you notice that? The people clapping were almost like there must have been somebody in the back that said applause. And I want you to remember this. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm a constitutional conservative American. But you look at the people that were standing and applauding all this garbage, flat out garbage. Remember that. I'd say probably half of them are on the Epstein list. But anyway, hey, how's everybody doing? I appreciate. Yeah, Trump is physically weak. He looked weak. He sounded weak. Okay? It wasn't your typical Trump. I mean, you know how they protected Joe Biden from him showing his weakness? Well, Trump's handlers need to hide a little bit different, but that's what I saw. Weakness. Okay? He's not the strong man he used to be. But then what is he, almost 80? So anyway, but he sounded weak, and it was choreographed, clapping, all on cue. It was retarded. But let's get into what he was talking about, okay? Now, we all Americans, okay? We're not politicians. We're Americans. But the economy, most prosperous at any time. How the hell can that be? We're $40 trillion in debt as a nation. How can we be the most prosperous time ever? I mean, are you telling me that, let's say you got $1 million house in a 6-figure vehicle and, all this shit, but you're $15 million in debt? You're not very prosperous because all your money's going to pay off your debt. Inflation's down because he goes, well, I was to Iowa, whatever, last week, and I saw gas for $1.82. Any money, moron, Donald Trump, since you don't fill up the gas tank, I bet you any money was E85. Ethanol-based crap. right? It wasn't gasoline. $1.82. I like to know who's paying $1.82. We're still paying $2.60 a gallon. Okay, but inflation's down. Anybody go for groceries yet? Anybody likes knowing that? Hey, I got $40 worth of groceries and all fits in one bag. Everybody happy with that? I mean, like I say, I don't know what these stupid idiots in that chambers are thinking. They live in a different world than us. And we're paying for it all. Okay? And he's talking about inflation's down and wages are up. Americans are making more money than they ever have. Okay, anybody feeling that? You may be making more money, but you're still spending more money, and you have less money at the end of the month. Like you say, my kids work longer hours, make more money, and still struggle harder than their mom and I did when we were raising them. By the way, I got to listen to Trump say this shit. And then he's talking about more Americans working than ever before. Okay? And I'm going to get into the H-1B visa workers. Let's see. Over 50 million H-1B visa workers and over 20 million illegals working in this country, taking up over 70 million jobs. 70 million jobs. And how many people are connected with those jobs that are here, with their families and stuff? Now, you tell me how more Americans are working. Really, I'm in agriculture. A lot of people in agriculture know that's bullshit. Because all these jobs that Americans don't want to do. I mean, you go to a farm now with these H-1B visa workers and illegals, a white guy can't even get hired anymore. Bunch of crap. I tell you what, listening to that shit come out of that guy's mouth, like I say, I voted for him. But he was better than Kamala Harris. But, he lied too. Okay, but then again, he told me he didn't need me no more because I believe that the list wasn't a hoax. He said it was a hoax, but then they released the hoax that was redacted, and then he's not guilty of any crime. How did he say it? Yeah, they never brought up the Epstein file now, did he? Okay, but wages are up, okay? Then he's talking about they brought more Americans off food stamps because they got jobs. Bullshit, Trump, because you cut them off. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But didn't you, Donald Trump, say too that we needed H-1B visa workers in here in this country because Americans aren't capable of handling entry-level jobs? But here you're saying that more Americans are employed than ever before. What a labor participation rate. That was Rush Limbaugh saying. Labor participation rate. It was falling when he was still on the radio. And it's fallen even more since then. And he wants to sit there and say that more Americans are employed than ever? Like I say, these people that stand up and clap for this shit. That's ridiculous. Us living in the real world, oh my God. My God. I haven't been on YouTube for a while. Obviously, I need to start spouting my mouth off more because it's fucking bullshit. I mean, they're going to sit there and he's going to get prime time and all this, content creators that are having the live stream with him spewing this manure bullshit crap. Well, I guess a lot more of us little guys are going to have to start hitting it harder again, too. Just like YouTube. They got control of social media. I mean, a guy like me wants to sit there and give my opinion on what what I see life in America as, okay? Experiencing it. I go grocery shopping. You think Trump goes grocery shopping? Okay? Like I said, Trump, where was all that money you were going to give us? The tariff rebate, never got that. What about the money from Doge cuts? Never got that. I mean, it's been going on a year now. We still haven't got what he said he was going to give. Dude is unhinged. Can't hear you. Fix your mic. Opinions are like assholes. Yeah, everybody has one. But you know what? We can all have our opinions, but you know what? We all get up every day. Every American who goes to work and suffers and slaves away and deals with the same shit. Okay? Because we are controlled by a bunch of sadistic assholes. All I know is that State of the Union, I mean, really? Okay. Hottest country in the world, too. All the money he's bringing back to the United States for jobs and stuff. What, for H-1B visa workers? Like I say, where is this trickle-down economics? Because it seems to be all staying at the top. The average guy, the average family struggles more and more every month, having to cut more stuff out of their budget. We'll go, well, I don't eat out, but, let's say they eat out twice a month. Well, we can only do it once a month now. They're cutting down on their lives. And we got these politicians up there telling us we're living high on the hog. And they're applauding this shit. Really? Who's living high on the hog? The average person isn't. Hottest country in the world. The bigs are making fucking money. And the little guy's getting shafted. Anything, whatever. This speech was a bunch of crap. Like I said, you had the Republicans just clapping away. Everybody's having a good time. Just remember the people that stood up and clapped to this lying ass bullshit. Those are the people. I'm not saying the Democrats, like I say, the Democrats, they have their issues too, but at least they didn't applaud this stupid shit. Probably because they don't like Trump, but still. I can't believe you get up and applaud that this is the most prosperous time ever in America's history, and there's more Americans employed than ever, and you get up and clap to that? Like I say, a lot of they were acting like a bunch of trained fucking SEALs. That's what they were acting like. Yep, our congressmen or senators and everybody in that chambers, except for the ones that were sitting down, the SEALs that didn't want to participate in that particular show, but the rest of them were up clapping their hands. Arr, 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 arr. Fucking sickens me. Okay. Oh, of course, and then Trump, of course, had to sit there and, always the narcissist in him when he would make a comment about a subject and how his opinion mattered more than everybody else's. Whatever. And then he's talking about world peace. My God. Really? What's this? All this stuff we got off Iran's coast, and we want to take Iran out, but world peace, right? Ukraine war is still going. I mean, where's this guy at? I mean, he still actually believes he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. And then we're sitting there going after Iran. Why? None of this makes sense. We destroyed their nuclear capabilities, right, Trump? Put them back years, decades. Well, what the hell? It's not even a year fucking later. And you got to go in there again? I mean, they recovered that quick to where they're a week away from bomb now again? We've been hearing that shit for a long time from Netanyahu. Well over 20 years. Remember the time he got in front of Congress with what was the chart? With the thermometer or whatever, the bomb, where, how close Iran was close to getting the bomb? This is crazy shit we got to listen to. But yeah, he's bringing about peace to the world. We just got to, instead of spending $1 trillion like we did last year on the military, we got to spend $1.5 trillion this year because the world's a safer place. Are you kidding me? And he's talking about how the military recruitment's up and the police force recruitment's up. Well, yeah, why is law enforcement recruitment up? Well, ICE, and the thing is, when they want to give these statistics, they ought to give the meat and potatoes of it where they're getting it from. Okay? And then he wants to get on, with the cop stuff, how DC's so much safer now. So it's safest city in America. Yeah, what do you got on streets there, Trump? Oh, you got the military on streets. And I do remember around Thanksgiving, a couple of them getting shot and one of them dying. Doesn't sound too safe for me. I mean, like I say, all these people that would get up and clap like a bunch of seals, they're just part of the problem. I mean, they honestly believe this shit. Get ready for military in your neighborhoods. I know that's why I haven't been live and I haven't been doing a lot of content on YouTube, because I've been focusing on getting that set up. I'll be on top of my mountain, drinking my beverage and eating my popcorn, watching the smoke rise from the valleys and the prairies as this nation burns. Because that's what's coming. I'd suggest everybody else to prepare. This speech tonight, they have no clue what's going on. The politicians have no freaking clue what the average American's going through. Okay? What was another thing? Okay. Before he went into this sportsman stuff, we're winning too much. We as a country and American citizens, we're winning too much. Mean to tell me when you get off of work every day, you feel like a winner? When you get up every morning knowing the day you're going to have to put in, you feel like a winner? I mean, I was in sports. I know what it feels like to win. What I have to deal with every day doesn't feel like I'm winning. The last few months, we just a warm up for armed men in our cities. This channel, there's only one way to fix. I don't care if the government's listening, because I have every right to say this as an American citizen and as a Marine, which I am part of the well-regulated militia. But the only way we're going to fix this is armed conflict. And the only reason we have armed conflict is because the government refused to give up its governing authority over us. If we choose to tell the government to hit the road, Jack, they got to go. And the only reason we'd have confrontation war is if they fought it. His channel is about coming together. Like I said, I've been on YouTube for 2.5 years. 2 of my channels have been canceled because of what I would say about the Democrats. The truth about the Democrats. Wings of the same bird, people. Corrupt ass bastards. I agree with you, bastards. We got to do this together. Yeah. Okay, and this is what this channel's about. Okay, I need to do. People in this live stream be here tomorrow, because I'm doing a live stream about what it's going to take to organize. Me being in the military, everything's based on the grunt, the guy in the foxhole. Everything supports the guy in the foxhole, the tank, the jet, the food, everything. We need to come together and organize. Organize in your area. Start with your fire team, like I say. Start with 3 other guys or gals. When we fight on our own soil, gender isn't going to matter. Don't blame the Democrats, the Republicans, and Conservative Party are still the same. Yeah, I know. Wings of the same bird. I mean, like you say, George Washington hated political parties because he said it was the only reason they would only divide America. If you still think there is a left or right, you are behind. I know. What's the difference? They both steal your money through taxes, spend it on stuff that you don't want should be spent on, and do everything that they can do to sit there and infringe on your constitutional rights, your God-given rights. Which party doesn't do that? I mean, to follow a banner and say, okay, what Trump is doing is okay? Are you kidding me? Like I say, he didn't mention the E-list in the old State of the Union address, did he? He's exonerated. Remember, Trump said he's been exonerated from the E-list just because all the evidence has been redacted. I mean, is the average American that fucking stupid these days not to see what's going on? I mean, just with the E-list, we have sadistic, beyond criminal, the devil's minions governing us. Are you going to go up to heaven and say, when you got God or Jesus or St. Peter, whoever, standing at the pearly gates, let you in and say, oh, you let the devil govern you for the while. Why'd you do that? I'm not going to go up and do it. This government, I don't care how much fucking shit they sign, who signs it. It's hot air coming out of there, just a bunch of wind. Okay, if our Constitution is just words written on a piece of paper, same to them, because that Constitution is what the American people, is a document the American people give to the government for its authority to even exist. So I guess if the Constitution doesn't really exist no more, the government has no authority to exist. It's the authority. It's the title that we give to the government from the people, saying, here, you have the right to exist. Okay? But, obviously what you saw in that chambers tonight was a bunch of shit. Gay, straight, black, white, smart, dumb, Christian, Jew, male, female, or young. We are keeping on. It's this thing. We're all in the sinking ship together. We're all on the Titanic. Okay? And eventually things are going to get that bad, where we realize the differences and the division that they created between us don't mean fucking shit. But it's going to have to get that bad before that division is eradicated, before that wall crumbles. The E-list was it. But they covered, they're doing everything. I mean, I can't believe this shit. Disgusting fucking people. I mean, just think of these kids that are all horror they went through. Anyway, I won't let these people do not govern me. Fuck them. They got to come in here and exercise their authority over me. Good luck with that. Okay? I'm going to die standing on my feet before I go to my knees and become a fucking slave to the devil. You say this is a spiritual war. You better choose your side, because when it comes time for your soul to go up or down, this will be the time to determine it. You bow down to the devil. I don't care what you do after that. Okay? That's just something that can't be given up. That's why our Second Amendment is very important to us. Trump could say whatever or do whatever and get away with it, but once they go after our guns, it doesn't. See, this is the thing, people, okay? The Constitution, when it was ratified, the Bill of Rights wasn't in the Constitution, but the people the delegates that ratified it said we need extra protections for the American citizen. Okay? They wanted to protect the American citizen. The Constitution doesn't really do that. It just says how the government's supposed to be set up and, a lot of stuff. I mean, but the Bill of Rights was there to protect it. And it was added because it said, anytime the government starts infringing on the Bill of Rights, it's time to enact the Declaration of Independence. Infringe on any part of it. And they infringe on our first, our second. Well, the third. Does anybody know what the third is? Not quartering soldiers. Well, I'm sure that's going to change too. Because when they start putting military in all these towns, well, if they ain't got barracks, okay? The Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 10th Amendment. And then, I heard today that the idiot governor down there, I can't even remember his name off the top of my head now, in Texas, Abbott. His biggest donor is a Pakistani oilman. And all of a sudden you got, a mosque going up every 12 days in Texas. I mean, it's not only our government that's selling us out. Your state governments are selling us out. Look at, what was it? Kemp, where was he from? South Carolina? With the China thing? And Tim Walz, China, among other things that he guilty as shit of. Yeah, they're infringing on our ability to use that. The thing is, we don't have a choice. And we don't have to ask their permission. This is the thing. The government, we elect the government to take care of business. We don't want to have to take it. We want to pursue our happiness. So we don't want to have to worry about the borders. We don't want to have to worry about the security of our money supply. We don't want to have to worry about dealing with other countries. We put people in D.C. to do this stuff, to secure the borders. Okay? But when our government won't do that, it falls on us. The charter of this country is written by the people of this country, the citizens of this country, not by the government of this country. Okay? Everybody needs to realize where their position is in this country. You're just as powerful as a congressman or a senator or the president. When they don't do their job, you have to do it. If you're at work and you're a supervisor and something needs to get done that nobody's capable of getting done, or they just doesn't get done, who's it fall on? You to do it. There's no choice. It's your obligation. And this is where we're sitting now. And being a Marine and part of the well-regulated militia, who else is supposed to do it? I always say, give me a division of homeless vets. I would love to see these vets walk in, like in boot camp, in Marine Corps boot camp, got off the bus and your little yellow footprints, the middle of the night, they're screaming at you, and you go into the first room, they escort you in there, and that's where you get your haircut. Shave and haircut, right? You imagine all these homeless people going in there, get their shave and haircut, then they go into the next room, the big auditorium room, where they sit there and get all get rid of their civilian clothing and put on their military uniforms and stuff. They come out that back door and form up, trained with a wholly different attitude. You know what? A division of homeless vets ain't going to complain when things get a little tough. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believed in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Okay. But you know what? God gave it. This is the thing with religion with me. God's still in charge. And if you want to know what God's like, read the Old Testament. If you think God's going to sit there and allow you to disobey the 10 Commandments at will, just because you believe in his Son and you're going to live in heaven, Jesus was seated at the right hand of God, not on the throne of God. He's a prince, not the big guy. And if you read the Old Testament, you'll understand what the big guy is all about. Okay, and, be ready for the fire and brimstone because it's coming. Okay? I'm just, some people in the world that just won't turn the other fucking cheek. They'll stand up for themselves and stand up for the weaker ones. That's what the strong need to do. The weak, turn your other cheek. The strong, fuck you. Okay? Especially when you want to interfere with my life, my freedom, my liberty, my religion, my right to worship my God. No, no. And like I say, I won't be led by a bunch of sadistic creeps. God, DC's just all about draining the swamp. Okay, Trump, DC's the safest place in the country? Really? And I guess that's only if you're over 18, right? And you don't go someplace where pizza and hot dogs are served, right? Draining the swamp, right, Trump? You got the military in D.C. How about start draining the swamp? Oh, that's right. You'd have to arrest yourself first. Okay? People, the next election, the midterms, everybody's afraid of not having another presidential election. I don't think we're going to have the midterms because the Democrats are going to take the House and Senate. Okay, they're going to take it this year. I guarantee it. Why? Because Republicans aren't going to go vote for the Democrats. The Republicans and conservatives that Trump said he don't need us no more and mocks us and calls us names are just going to fucking stay home. Because if we're going to get the same results with a Republican Democrat president as we would with a Democrat, what's the difference? I mean, you've had the House, the Senate, and the presidency for now over a year. How many people have gotten arrested from the E-list? Oh, that'd be zero. And then you want to sit there and talk about the border. I'm not going to patch. Excuse me. Trump was bragging about no illegal entries into the country. I'm not going to pat you on the back, fool, for doing your job. What are you, like this new generation? You part of this new generation, Donald Trump, where you need instant gratification just because you did your fucking job? Really? And then what about all the illegals? Well, they have to break a serious crime first. Them breaking the law by coming over the border illegal isn't enough of a crime to deport them. Well, that's not what the American people want. I mean, the Republicans, any of you Republicans think that they're going to win the House and Senate in the midterms? If we have the elections, you're lost. And Trump, what was the last impeachment? It took him what? 13 hours, was it? It was crazy amount of time. How short it was. When they get the House and Senate, what do they take over? January 3rd, right? Well, I guarantee you by the end of January 3rd, Trump will be impeached. He knows that. So do you think we're going to have the midterms? Because remember, the world wouldn't rotate. The earth wouldn't rotate around the sun if Donald Trump wasn't where he was at. God, I mean, I wish these people that are hanging around him would stop filling his head full of shit. Hot air. My God, that guy ain't going to be able to make it through a doorway pretty soon. Anyway, it was an interesting speech, okay? I couldn't watch the rest of it. But then when he got into the sports, okay, he started talking. I mean, Trump, like you say, he sounded weak. He wasn't all there. Maybe he's tired from planning the war with Iran. One thing I liked about Iran, they got 11 videos of Trump being a naughty boy with underage people. And they're going to release it if he attacks Iran. Well, I guess if Israel's going to try to pull his strings with the Epstein list to try to get him to bomb Iran, Iran's going to use the Epstein list to get him not to bomb Iran. Boy, how would you like to be Trump right now? It's when you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like I say, he's painting himself into a corner, talking all tough. Iran's not flinching. What are you going to do? Hey, man, I can hear. I think you're muted. Okay, whatever. Everybody else can hear me. Maybe you don't have your hearing aids turned up loud enough. I tell you what, see, this is another thing, these trolls. I mean, do these trolls realize that when the shit comes walking down their street, they're going to realize that maybe they should have done something except trolling people on fucking social media? Like you say, hell's coming to this country, people. And if you don't want to prepare yourself for it, so be it. If you're just going to throw your hands up and say, I give up, life is too hard, just kill me, more power to you. You know, I could just disappear, like up there. No ties. Bye-bye. Eventually, you know, this year it's going to happen because I definitely am not going to deal with digital ID and digital currency. Anyway, but, well, if you can't hear me, you're the only one. Anyway, I mean, they don't even have any new, I mean, it's like a broken record. Did it? Let's do the same thing. Hey, let's insult them because obviously when people call us names, it bothers us, so it must bother other people too. You know, this is what we're dealing with. This is the sad state of affairs in this country. Flat out, the people, I think, you know, a lot of people, younger generation, weren't taught comprehension skills like we were, okay? And they really, really don't have the ability to comprehend what is going on. And especially if it goes against the safety of their bubble. You know, if something like that will poke my bubble, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to ignore it. It's totally not going to be part of, I'm going to totally ignore it, right? You know, weakness. But don't worry, when we do get our country back, the 20 or 30% of us that fight to get our constitutional republic back, the rest of the 70% are going to get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And then they'll change their tone. The thing is, you know, these trolls, boy, when life comes marching down their street, oh, I hope they take some selfies of themselves because it's going to be pretty hilarious. I think there's something on your ceiling, dude. It says gullible. Take a look. I mean, is everybody as stupid as the fucking these people that follow political parties? I tell you what, if you saw the way I lived, like, see, just watch some of my shorts. You know, half the population of this country couldn't live like I do. And I live a nice, free, happy life with no Starbucks, none of that shit. Understanding what true freedom is. And it's not about chasing a green piece of paper so the rich elites in the government can make more money off of you. See, I'm in the point in my life where I realize time can't be replaced, but money can. Okay? And I'm not going to chase something that's extremely worthless anyway. Green piece of paper, like I said, this country's got a lot of hurt coming down. Even when it does come down, Trump will be up there, whoever the president is, as it's even collapsing further in another year, 2 years, 3 years, saying how great things are. All you got to do is, like you say, I watched my videos from years ago. Nothing's changed. It's just gotten worse. Now we got military in the streets. $1.5 trillion to the Department of War. Anybody know why they changed it to the Department of Defense? I wonder why. Maybe it had something to do with because we didn't want to sound threatening. Anyway, World War III won't start. Be on the news. You know, are they going to tell us, you know, I'm doing a tree job right now, right? 1 mile away, I live 10 miles from the closest silos, you know, those silos in the ground that have these things that shoot out of them and go to another country and explode, another continent and explode. Yeah, I got them 10 miles away, but I'm actually doing a job now where I'm 1 mile away from one. Tell those people, I guess, you'll know when it starts before everybody else does. Today, the world we live in, ICBMs, yes, they are. Got some in the county anyway. You know, you drive by them, it's just part of the world. But I look at it too, like, right, nuclear weapons are 80 years old, 81 years old. Imagine what they got now. And I do believe that eventually all these silos will be going space-based. I mean, I would imagine, because it just cuts down on a lot of things. Shoot it straight from space down. They don't have a lot of time to prepare. Don't have a lot of early warning and stuff. But yeah, that's a world we deal with. So anyway, I'm not in too safe of a place if we get like that, but I do have bug out locations and stuff, and hopefully I can get out before that happens. Hopefully you get enough of a warning, but you never know. I mean, in today's world, you could go to bed one night and wake up to a bunch of loud explosions, shaking you out of your bed, not having a single freaking clue what happened. But don't worry, our politicians are up in the Senate, the House of Representative chambers today, clapping like a bunch of seals because everything's going great in this country. We are the most prosperous at any time. More people in this country are working more than ever. Wages are up. Inflation is down. We're the safest we've ever been. Military in the streets. Bad times ahead, people. Like I say, it just shows this was nothing but an orchestrated speech. He sounded weak. He looked weak. And everybody acted like a bunch of trained seals going, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." Are you kidding me? Then he goes on about sports, hockey team. We got something to look forward to. I'm not saying the hockey team ain't great, got gold medals, but you're going to give their goalie the highest civilian award there is? For what? Blocking a puck? What about the farmer out there busting his ass? Does he get a presidential award? Or let's just say the average working person that gives half their fucking money, over half their money in taxes in some shape, way, or form. Do they get some medal? I mean, he's just lost. He's lost. Okay? The world's in a lot of hurt because Trump's not in his right mind. I do believe he's starting to go insane. Like I say, compared to the campaign trail to now, that ain't the same man. And he looked weak. The audience was weak. Choreographed B-budget movie. Any American fell for that sideshow that they had tonight as a State of the Union? Do you get up every morning and go to work? Do you go grocery shopping? $1.82 in gas in Iowa. Yeah, E85, dumbass. Guarantee it was E85. But why would he know anything about that? I mean, when's the last time Donald Trump ever filled up a gas tank? Probably never fucking has. These people do not live in the real world, the world we have to live in. They live in a world where everything's so prosperous, where everybody's just can't get used to winning so much off of our hard labor, our time, and our money. They're living the most prosperous life they've ever lived. It's time to put an end to this shit. Like I say, paying tribute to the devil, you would never do that. Most people would never do that. So we pay tribute to his minions in the form of taxes and allow them to govern us and tell us what to do. I know that's not what I was put on this earth for. I know I definitely put on this earth to fight shit like that, to stand up for the weaker person that isn't smart enough or strong enough to stand up for themselves. You can all, you trolls and stuff can hate me. I don't really care. It's not going to stop me from protecting you. Every gas station is owned by a foreigner who can't speak English. I know a lot of Indians come and buying all these small town gas stations up. And so, I know. I came from Minnesota. It's not just Minneapolis that's been taken over by the foreigner Somalians. It's little towns like Walnut Grove, where I used to go to school. Yeah, a little house on the prairie, taken over by Somalians. Redwood Falls, all these small southern towns in Minnesota. Worthington, remember Tim Waltz? We have 50 languages being spoken in Worthington School. Isn't that diversity? How big a town do you think Worthington is? Oh, I know. It's about 6,000 people. And the only reason is that because Interstate 90 goes through it. So you're telling me in a school that maybe has 12 to 1,300 kids, 50 languages being spoken in that school is a good thing? It's beyond ridiculous. You come to this country, like I say, invaders don't want to learn our language. Invaders don't want to assimilate to our culture. Invaders want to sit there and bring their culture to take over our country. Years ago, when this country was being formed, we had immigrants that would learn English because they knew they had to become successful. They changed their name to sound more American. They liked the American culture. That's why they came here, to be Americans. Okay? We just got a bunch of invaders. But Trump's not getting rid of them. Anyway, but when the American people have to start dealing with them, like I say, we don't need the government's permission to enforce the laws of this country. You don't have to be a cop to enforce the laws of this country. If they won't do it, it falls on the American citizen to do it. And then after we get done with the criminals that are in our streets, we'll start dealing with the criminals that are in the capitals and stuff. We're going to make America safe again and great again and prosperous again. And the thing is, if you other countries want to make your country great again, then go the fuck back home, have a revolution, and adopt the Constitution. And don't let your government, and the Bill of Rights, and don't let your government infringe on your rights, and they have to obey the Constitution. Remember, the Constitution is not something the American citizen has to obey. The Constitution is something the federal government has to obey. And that's where everybody gets lost. They don't understand. Okay? Every politician that wants to be a tyrant hates the Constitution. Can't stand it. Okay? That's why they go to college for 8 years and become constitutional lawyers, so they can find a way to get around it. But the average man, called a patriot, can read it once and completely understand it. But don't worry, they're the smart ones. They're the smart ones that were standing up and clapping like a bunch of seals when President Trump was sounding like a complete fucking idiot. I don't know what American citizen besides a politician and somebody who's illegal that might agree with him. But us as American citizens, are you fucking kidding me? Great world we live in, people. Great country we live in. And they're not going to stop. Because it will just, I am just saying the truth. I'm sorry, I missed it. It's already been this way. We're live for 20 years. I've lived for 20 years. You know what? I've lived for 58 years. And times have really freaking changed. times when us country folk would drive our pickup to school with rifles and shotguns in the rifle racks in the cab of the truck. And nobody went in there and when they got in a fight, went up to their pickup truck and pulled the gun and started shooting up school. I mean, can you imagine living in a time with no computers, no cell phones, a lot less cops? We had a lot less crimes. I mean, when I was in high school, junior and senior year, and I go lift weights on a Sunday, I go to the athletic director, who was also our history teacher and track and football coach, go to his house on Sunday and get the keys to the school. So I could get into the school. He gave me his keys to the school so I could get into school on Sunday and lift weights. Different times back then. We were given responsibility at a young age. We were expected to perform at a young age, be responsible. And we were definitely responsible for our actions. But you know what? We didn't have the government knowing everything about us. And the thing is, we didn't even know what freedom was back then, okay? Our parents and grandparents always say, you don't know what freedom is. My grandfather, who fought World War II, third wave to hit Omaha Beach, he definitely explained it to me, you don't understand what freedom is. It will allow them to command absolute censorship. Yeah, I tell you, I deal with this on YouTube. This is another reason why I've cut down on my content. Because you can't beat social media. You can't beat these algorithms. They beat you down and beat you down. Every social media platform has it. And they say, well, we're a private business. We have the right to do that. No, you don't. You have the right to infringe on my constitutional rights. You know, I got to say, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and whoever owns these social media platforms, if you're so fucking thin-skinned, what interferes with your sense of reality bothers you so much, sell your business. God, YouTube's going fucking broke. I wonder why. Because they got a bunch of retards in charge that want to sit there and hide anything content-wise that would make them fucking money. You know, they have a Cabbage Patch doll on the shelf that everybody wants behind fucking steel bars, and they're trying to sell this fake counterfeit shit that nobody wants to buy. But they're going to push that shit because they don't want people getting the real stuff. I mean, to succeed at business, what do you have to do? Offer a product or a service that the public wants. Okay? And then do it in a fashion where you make money at it without screwing everybody over. Anyway, these people with these business PhDs don't have the fucking first clue about what it's like to run a successful business because they let their political mindset get in the way. I mean, like you say, you do that, you exclude half your customers right away. I'm sorry, when I go into a business, I don't care what the business owner's political affiliation is. That's not the first thing on my mind. But if you want it to be, and I don't agree with you, then I guess I just won't go into your business. If that's the game you want to play. I'll go to a conservative business that has the same stuff. This is how stupid everything's political now. Anyway, I've been going on for almost an hour. I appreciate everybody being here. Please hit the thumbs up, the like, and the subscribe if you would. Anything to help the channel grow. Like I say, we got a world of hurt going on. And like I say, if you got to listen to the State of the Union and this is what you think reality is, censorship's definitely working for you. Okay, they got you all the way. Crazy times. Like I say, these are the people governing us. This is like your crazy uncle coming into your house and just spilling this crazy ass shit, and everybody just shakes their head, yeah, because they don't want to create a problem, and then say they're fucking nuts. They're not living in reality, or your crazy aunt. Okay, that's what we got into Washington D.C. Because the reality that I gotta wake up to every day is not obviously the reality that they've realized they're forcing on us. Okay, this dude's talking about taking arms like the crap in Minnesota. They want that, and will be reason. I'm not some moron who wants to sit there and go against government because they're enforcing the law. Okay, they're infringing. There's every right that this Marine has I took an oath to the Constitution. A lot of you civilians never did that. You never been in really bad situations serving your country. You wouldn't understand. And you're willing to sit there and deal with this bullshit and sacrifice your freedom, liberty, money, and prosperity. Just so the cell phones keep going on and Walmart's still full and you can still go to McDonald's. Some of us aren't like that. Some of us are a little tougher, a little bit more independent, a little bit more scrappy and rough around the edges. And some of us just ain't going to let a beta male tell us what to fucking do. It's against nature for me to allow a prissy little beta male to tell me what to do. Not going to happen. So anyway, we're in a world of hurt, people. And it's not going to get any better. But I will say, I don't think Donald Trump's going to attack Iran. He painted himself into a corner, and he's going to have to tuck his tail between his legs and just, they'll say something, well, Iran agreed, or, they'll come up with something to try to save face. But see, all it takes is China and Russia to say, But see, do you think Donald Trump's ever been in a fight before in his life? Do you think he's ever felt that adrenaline rush before a fight? The nerves you get? Do you think he's ever felt that? What it's like to be a fucking man, to stand up to another man? No. None of these fucking beta males never have. So anyway, he's a pussy is what I'm saying. A crooked, corrupt, controlled beta male pussy. And he's looking really weak. Okay? And I would say in the next 3 years, he's going to be a bumbling fool just like Biden was. Anyway, that's just my prediction. But if he doesn't lead us into the peace president, lead us into World War III first. I mean, I can see him starting World War III and say, well, there wouldn't be so much peace in the world if it wasn't for me. The guy's beyond lost. Loser. Oh, good. I'm glad you put that in all caps. Why don't you put some exclamation point comments behind that? Oh, my God. Somebody doesn't like me. Oh, no. What do I do? Oh. I'm as far right as anybody can get, and I don't agree with Trump. I'm a constitutional conservative. I believe in constitutional principles. That I don't believe in left or right. I mean, the Constitution you can't be on one side and interpret it a different way. I mean, the left thinks abortion's in the Constitution. Okay? The word abortion is not in the Constitution. That's why the 10th Amendment comes in and it states rights. But these are the same people that don't see the word shall not be infringed. The thing is, they're playing a game with us people. And we continue to play with them, playing stupid. you know, not shouldering our responsibility that the founding fathers put on us to throw off this government and install new guards for the future of our security. That's the point it's coming down to. I mean, we didn't choose the time to live when we were going to be born. We can only deal with what we got to deal with. And, do you want, I'm not going to live my life another 40 or 50 years being a slave or governed by the devil. That's not going to happen. Pam Bondi, and if we start arresting people on the list, it's going to collapse everything. Good. Anything being held up by evil is going to eventually collapse anyway. Flat out saying they're guilty, they're high, powerful, elite people all over the world, but we can't do nothing because it'll make the whole system collapse. Too big to fail, too big to jail. But don't you get caught not wearing your seatbelt. Fuck them. I have the training and experience to deal with these sons of bitches, and I'm done. I'm going to live my peaceful little life. And if they want to sit there and exercise their authority over me, well, my door is always open. I'm sick of this shit. I see a lot of videos all over the internet on how people are just tired of this. All political affiliations, people, a wide range of people that are sick of it, that can see, grandparents for their first grandchild's being born and realize that their grandchild doesn't have a fucking future, at least not the future they had. What can we do, people? We need to band together. Together we stand, divided we fall. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to do a live stream on what it's going to take to band together, what it's going to take to create a military. We already got the vets. We already got the trained military. We're just all out of the active duty service. Okay? And since the taxpayer paid for all our military equipment in this country, we're not stealing it, we're confiscating it. Okay? We can take over a base and run it just like the modern day military can. The biggest military in the world is all the vets the United States has created over the last 36 years of war. Almost at war for 40 straight fucking years since Desert Storm. Anybody can say going the way of Rome? Anyway, everybody stay safe out there. Like I say, be able to react when things get hairy in your neighborhood. Okay? Like I say, I live in a county that has about 1,700 people in it. Not very populated. And everybody here is on the same page. Believe me. In this county, if you started acting like I see on YouTube that these big cities put up with, the ambulance would pull up, they'd put you in there, and they'd have you seek for medical help, okay, medical attention. We don't put up with, we're not very tolerant out here with sadistic, retarded shit, okay? We know a man's a man, a woman's a woman, government sucks, all they do is sit there, steal from us. But we still leave it to Beaverland. By the time it affects us out here, like it's affecting you guys in the cities won't exist anymore. Anyway, but everybody stay safe. And at least I can say one thing about the speech. It shows us that these people in D.C. have no clue what the average American is experiencing or what they deal with every day, okay? But I don't have money flying out of my wallet. And when I do, it's to buy one bag of fucking groceries. Anyway, great times ahead, people. Great times ahead. Anyway, I hope to see you tomorrow night on the live stream. Like you say, we're going to discuss what's going to take to come together as Americans, as a military unit, an army to take out this corrupt government. Because all we have to do is say it's time for you to leave. And then they need to go. But if they don't, oh well. So anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow. Because they're going to be coming down hard on the American citizen. Remember, who's a second-class citizen in this country now? It definitely ain't the illegals. Let's go to Dearborn, Michigan, and ask them who the second-class citizen is now. Things are getting tough, everybody. Things are getting tough. But anyway, well, the light will persevere. It's just, I guess, everybody hasn't been victimized yet by this government and our politicians. Anyway, brother, you still locked in your room? We must rise together, not rise with the new order. I know. I mean, the first George Bush was talking about the new world order. Back in what, 90, when did he say that, 92? When he's giving that speech about the new world order? Or was it 91 even? I can't remember. Like you say, you get up in the morning and try to do, if you got a family and kids, I'm past the kids' point, but raise your kids to be successful, okay? To be good people. These people in D.C., I mean, it's all about controlling us, knowing everything we do. Surveillance state. And we're paying for it all. All the tyranny that the government is pressing upon us, we're paying for it. So don't forget to pay your taxes on April 15th. Cool painting behind you. It's a tapestry type thing. But like I say, I'm setting that up this year. I'm not going to have a log cabin, though. I'm going to give me a dugout. Already got the horses and stuff. But like I say, things are going to get bad, people. And I'm not going to be controlled. I'm willing to give up any modern convenience I have, or there is, so I can stay free. My freedom's more important to me than running water, a cell phone, a Walmart. That's one thing about having skills. You're not dependent on anybody. That gives me that little extra freedom. I mean, I'm not even going to, when it comes time for Social Security, all that money I paid in spent anyway. I'm not applying for Social Security. All these people that never filled out any type of government assistance at all their whole life. The first thing they do when they're 65 is go to the government and start filling out their Social Security shit. So they become reliant on the government. And the government just loves it. Not me. They can take my money and shove it right up their ass. Because I will not allow Dracula into my house. I will not fill out any form of paper which ties me financially to the fucking government. Like I say, that Social Security account you got, this is going to be what digital currency is going to be like, where you are required to make the deposits by law. But the government's in charge of the withdrawals. Yep. Welcome to digital currency, where the government becomes a primary signature holder on your bank account and has to approve all of your purchases. Like I say, I'm getting out before that. Anyway, Tough times ahead, and our politicians don't see it. Like I say, they're partying in D.C., saying we're the most prosperous at any time. More people are working. Everything's great. Inflation's down. He's creating peace all over the world. My God. Anyway, but like I say, in the show The Twilight Zone, who was the one that was always deemed crazy and losing their fucking mind? The person that was sane. Okay? The sane person was put in a situation that was beyond insanity. Welcome to the Twilight Zone, people. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. I'm not a boomer. I missed boomer by 3 years. I couldn't believe when I fucking heard that the boomers was till 64. I was like, oh my God, I thought it was earlier than that. So I got 2 brothers that are boomers, though. So anyway, it was a good time to grow up. We were free. Pinnacle of this country. Top in education. I mean, when you went to school in the 70s, 80s, 60s, I suppose, before the Department of Education, teachers took over. I mean, my teachers I had were before the Department of Education. All of them but one quit during Clinton's time. But anyway, we got the best education. We were number 1 in the world for education when I was getting my education. Back when we had to sit down, shut up, and give the teacher undivided attention. Okay, we were given an education. Now what are we, 36 in the world by today's standards? That's another thing. By today's standards. All I know is I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Okay? But according to all these IQ tests on YouTube and shit, I'm a genius because I ace them all. It just shows me that the quality of the educated person is falling. Because, I always did well in school. But, okay, common knowledge, what I had in kindergarten, seniors don't even have graduating now. It's crazy. Like I say, a lot of this IQ shit is what I learned in elementary. I always say my 4th grade education is equal to a high school diploma now. And my high school diploma is equal to a college degree now. That's just the way it is. Just the way it is. And us boomers and Gen X see it all the time. I had calluses on my hands when I was 6 years old. Okay? Working my ass off. Doing manual labor for what? 53 years now. Still going strong. Anyway, but I gladly have that world back. Because the best thing about it is everybody minded their own business and the government was out of your life. And we didn't have 5 million cops on the street. That's another thing. I live in a county, very few people. No crime. We have 4 cops in this county, or we used to. 3 deputy sheriffs and the sheriff. That was it. But for some reason now recently, they decided to give the sheriff a $30,000 a year dollar raise a year and added another deputy. I'm just wondering if that's happening to all these small rural areas where they're adding cops. Really? There ain't no crime here. Why the hell do we need another cop? I'm just wondering. They're expanding the police force. Like Trump said, the recruitment of the military and police force are way up. And we got an extra one in our county. But you know what? I don't know how many illegals we got in this country. I'm sure it's not too many. But I'm sure they're still not going to have the staffing to take care of them. Okay, they'll just have the extra staffing to watch us law-abiding American citizens to make sure we cross the street right. Anyway, Hey, I finally found your videos on your horses and you're riding them and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I tell you what, I went to be a cowboy. I was 40 years old. Always wanted to be a cowboy. I rode horse a little bit when I was a kid, nothing much, right? But at 40 years old, I went out to the mountains of Wyoming, to south of Casper, Wyoming, by a small town called Alcova, by the Independence Rock and the Maricopa Mile fishing spot, on 280 square miles, and learned how to be a cowboy, learned how to rope and ride. And, it's just another skill I want to pick up. And it's very fulfilling. Like especially where I live, you can feel the freedom. I'm on the outside of the bubble looking in at the rest of America thinking, what the hell is wrong with these people? We would never put up with this shit here. The crazy shit you got to put up with in the cities. We leave it to Beaverland still. We don't have to lock your doors. Don't have to take the keys out of your vehicles. Yeah. Traditional America still. And it hurts me to know that other Americans are dealing with this shit when I live a free, safe life. If you're a stranger in this area, everybody's going to know it before the cops know it. You're a strange car in town, we know it. There's a strange vehicle driving around, everybody knows it. And it hurts to have to see Americans have to deal with this shit that they're dealing with in these big cities. Dearborn, Michigan, New York City with Mondami. Wonder how that shoveling snow worked out. DC with military in the streets. Illegals. I mean, the cost of living so high because we have too many fucking non-Americans in here taking up rent and stuff. I mean, how much extra food do we have to have produced, or the grocery stores have to sell, which they can mark up because we have, 100 million more people in this country than we should. It's just, and our politicians are doing nothing to stop it. They don't care. All they care about is getting rich. The government don't care who's doing the job as long as somebody's paying money to the government for them paying taxes to the government because the job's getting done. A beautiful life is what I can. I meant beautiful what I can see. It's relaxing. I wish the rest of America. I mean, how can a guy who lives in traditional America still leave it to Beaverland get so angry? It's not because of what I'm experiencing, because of what you guys are experiencing. Wish I could shake you and wake you the fuck up. Stop listening to these fucking people. Any politician that gets on the news or whatever in front of the cameras and gives you a reason that you should hate your neighbor, that person should be hated. Any person that tries to divide, especially people in a nation, you can't call them our leaders. If you had a clique of friends when you were in school and some idiot was trying to join your clique, would just create hate and discontent, would you allow them in? Anyway, I have a lot of friends that live in town. I live out in the country too. They don't want to be in the country. Yeah, because there's no Starbucks. This is the thing. When you're totally independent and you can raise your own meat, you can raise your own food, you don't need everybody, of course I like the little luxuries of society, but I can also live without it. Like I say, when I got the scenery behind my head, and I finally move in it, and I get to sit down for my first night and read my Louis L'Amour book by lantern light in my chair, in my dugout. How happy I'm going to be? Like I say, I'm willing to give up whatever modern convenience I have, whatever carrot they want to sit there and try to put in front of my face to try to get me to bite. No, I don't need modern conveniences. I need my freedom. Okay? I went to Dearborn last year. I call it okay. I can't read that. So anyway, yeah, it's messed up. I mean, when we have signs in our country that are in Arabic, anyway, like I say, us Americans are second-class citizens. And that's what they want to get us to accept. Well, we pay for all this shit. But they're partying in D.C. They have more money than they've ever fucking had. They're winning so much they're tired of winning. Tell me, is that the way you feel? They're spitting in your face and just keep spitting in your face. Okay? They're so used to putting on pearl necklaces on children that they want to do it to you. Fucking sicko bastards. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being on an hour and 20 minutes. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. The fight's going to be on. Eventually enough people are going to have had enough and we're going to organize. And that's what my live stream's going to be about tomorrow night. What we're going to have to do to organize. And it's a lot. Not going to happen overnight. But when we organize, we need to organize not private, but so the government can see what we're doing. So the government can see that, oh, there's 2 million that are going to take up arms. Oh, today there's 5 million. Oh, there's 12 million today. Oh, there's 25 million today that are going to take up arms. And like I say, a 4 million man, well-regulated militia doing some training exercises on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. this summer to become a well-regulated militia, I think would be an awesome idea. Boy, I just can't imagine what kind of message that would send to them. I mean, you get 4 million vets practicing to be a well-regulated militia. What are the cops going to do? I mean, there's not even enough military in our active duty service with the reserves to take on that type of group. And then while they're doing it in D.C., all the 50 other states, the people that did go to D.C. because you don't want to all be in one place, do it around their state governments. See what Abbott thinks when he's got 1 million armed Texans surrounding the Capitol with his Pakistani buddy in there. Sick fuck. Hot Wheels Abbott. Like I say, we're being sold out by all of them. And they're selling themselves out for a fucking worthless green piece of paper. So to our politicians, that worthless green piece of paper means more to them than their oath to the people that put them in office, to the American citizen. So we're even below the dollar bill now. And that's pretty hard to do considering how low that is. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, I could go on for 3 hours tonight. I haven't been live for a while. There's been a lot going on. But anyway, this was classic politicians not knowing what the fuck is going on. I mean, there's definitely got to be a different aura in Washington, D.C., if that's what these people think. Okay? Anyway, but I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, hit that thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. And I'll see you all tomorrow night. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.